Hello, how are you? Are you good? Are you not? My name is Chris, and on today's video, we're going to compare two fragrances from the house of Dior. So on today's very exciting video, I have two fragrances. Look how different they are. So this is a really funny little comparison. I have Purple Oud and I have Oud Ispahan, and we're going to compare both of them. But I just wanted to show you really quickly. This is a 15-ounce bottle, which they don't make here in the US, at least not on Dior's website. Let me know if they actually still sell this at the Dior boutiques or not. But this is Oud Ispahan. I paid $4.50 whenever this one was around, and it's no longer available on Dior's website. They do have the 8.6-ounce bottle, but that one is going to run you $4.50, so the same price as this. So I got quite a good deal. I don't know if 450 is a good deal, but it was a good deal now if it were, to be around still. But this is the fragrance that we have here, Oud Ispahan, and we have the 4.25-ounce bottle of Purple Oud. This one now retails for 300 and I believe 30 US dollars. I will list it down here below. But we're going to compare both of these fragrances and see what the differences are. They're both oud fragrances from the house of Dior. Are they the same? Do you need both of them? Or can you just get away with buying one of them? We will check all that out here on this video. So really quickly, I'm going to give you an introduction on each one of them. The one that came out first, obviously, was Oud Ispahan. This one has been around for quite some time. The perfumer for this is Francois Demachy, which was the master in-house perfumer for the house of Dior. He is now retired. And we have Francis Kurkdjian, but he made this fragrance. He actually made both of these fragrances. This one came out in 2012, so it's been around for a hot minute now. It is essentially a staple of the House of Dior. It's top selling fragrance for the House of Dior as well, and it's just a masterpiece. My first encounter with this was a long time ago. I was still working, I believe, for Giorgio Armani. And here's a story about that. I actually bought a fragrance on Poshmark, I think back then, which I don't even know if people still use Poshmark or not, but back then I bought a fragrance on Poshmark and ran across someone that, was selling, I think it was an Armani Privée fragrance for pennies on the dollar. It came out to be really cheap. I ended up buying that fragrance and they sent me a 10 ml sample of Oud Ispahan, which is incredibly generous because I think people now sell these little samples in these vials. But back then that was not a thing. And yes, they gave me a 10 ml of Oud Ispahan, the old formulation, which was a lot thicker when it comes to the actual consistency of the fragrance itself. And the color was a little bit deeper because the fragrance was a lot more intense back then. From that moment on forward, I fell in love with this fragrance and I've always wanted a bottle. And when I had the opportunity to buy one, actually, this is a gift from my partner, but I did get this one and I was so excited because it was one of my favorites. It's still one of my favorite ouds on the market. It's one of my favorite La Collection Privée fragrances as well. And I do have lots of love for Oud Ispahan. But this one came out in 2012. The top notes for this are going to be labdanum. The middle notes for this are going to be patchouli. Then in the base, we're going to get oud, rose, and sandalwood. So it's a very traditional oud fragrance. And what I mean by that is oud is traditionally paired with sandalwood. It's usually paired with rose. There's some patchouli in a lot of these fragrances that do these oud fragrances. And yeah, it's very simple. And when it comes to the approach that it's going for, it's very straightforward. It's a rosy oud, but it's beautiful because this fragrance itself takes the element of the Eastern note of oud and really mixes it very, very well with the French couture type of perfumes, which are going to be high florals. And this one is a combination of French culture and Eastern culture. The oud meets the French perfumery, and it's just done very well. It's a very deep, seductive fragrance. So it's going to have that deep oud, a very creamy sandalwood at base. It's going to have that beautiful rosy element, that sweetness of the labdanum, and the earthiness of the patchouli. All of these mixed together really create a very fascinating, deep, sophisticated, and deep fragrance that's going to be really, really mysterious at the same time. But it's also going to be a fragrance that, opens the doors up for people to come and ask you what you're wearing. I have gotten compliments on this more than I think almost any other fragrance, which is surprising because this fragrance is kind of polarizing. When people don't know about fragrance, they're like, it smells. And sure, it might smell to you, but it's a really beautiful scent. It's incredibly, incredibly well done. Now in 2018, which is 6 years after the grand unveiling of Oud Ispahan, we did get Purple Oud, which I believe is the newest one. I could be incorrect. Let me just check that. I am incorrect. The newest one is Oud Rosewood, and I have that one as well. If you want a comparison between Purple Oud and that one, let me know down in the comments. But this is a 2018 launch, so it's exactly 6 years younger than Oud Ispahan, and this one took a very different approach. Now, this is one that I don't see anyone talk about. I don't see anyone, saying that it's a great fragrance, that it's different, that it's groundbreaking, and that's because it's not. And I think it's a little bit harder to love this one compared to Oud Ispahan because this one is going to have a very different approach to where Oud Ispahan really sticks to the actual house codes of Dior, which are going to be floral, seductive, whimsical, deep, and elegant and sophisticated. This one takes a very modern luxury approach, which is going to be very clean, kind of cold, kind of corporate, if you will, but it's just a very sophisticated fragrance at the same time with lots of casual wear to it. So where this one's a lot more dressy and more you have to, get up there in a dress or in a tux or whatever you're going to a very special formal event. Purple Oud is going to be one of those fragrances that you can wear on a daily basis. It's still able to be worn to the office. You can wear it to a party. You can wear it to a wedding, and it just fits every scenario, which is very different. Now, the notes for Purple Oud are going to be pink pepper, orange, oud, and saffron. So I for the longest time and really quickly, I was going to get a size of this one, so a 15-ounce bottle of Purple Oud. And I bought Oud Rosewood because it was a newer one. I was very hyped about it, and the name itself just screams, something like Oud Ispahan and very sexy, but then they added raspberry. I know some of you guys love Oud Rosewood, and to me, I don't, unfortunately. I mean, that's okay. You can love what I don't love, and I can love what you don't love. And I just did not, really click and connect with Oud Rosewood. But I wish I would have gotten a bigger one of these because this is a recent purchase that I have bought from Dior, and I kicked myself in the butt because it's such an easy oud to wear. The orange note in here is kind of what threw me off. I was like, oh my God, this is going to smell disgusting. Who in their right mind would put oud and orange together? Those don't even look or sound like they would go together in any shape, way, or form. And then you see this fragrance mixing both notes very well. And I think the reason it works is because in Purple Oud, even though the name Oud is in the name, Oud kind of takes a background note effect. We tend to get more of the orange in here, which is that zesty, crisp, citric element. And then we get that beautiful saffron in here, which both of them mixed together create this very fascinating hook to the actual perfume. It really hooks you in and gets you in there. And then we get that beautiful pink pepper, which adds those spices up tops. And then the oud is the base of this fragrance. So it's very fascinating how they took that approach. It's not the main star, the main attraction of the fragrance, even though it's the name of the fragrance, but it is just done very well. The fragrance overall is just very clean. It's spicy. It's kind of cold. It's whimsical, but modern. It's kind of like going into a really old Dior boutique back in the 40s, and you'll probably get, the vibe of Oud Ispahan. If you go into a new one of those flagship, really modern, ultra sexy boutiques, then you'll definitely get the vibe of Purple Oud because it's more modern, it's more corporate at the same time, but it's just ultra luxury at this point. And I love both of them. It's kind of hard to sit here and tell you which one you should pick because both of them are very different and very different formats. So where Purple Oud, like I said, takes that modern approach, it's very clean, it's very crisp, it has a beautiful oud element as the base to ground the fragrance. It's still a fragrance that is very versatile, very wearable, very easygoing. It's going to be a fragrance that also gets lots of compliments, which is really nice too. But it's not one that's going to give you a ton of projection. So you're not going to walk into a room and have everyone turn around and say, what is that person wearing? Because it's just not that type of scent because we're getting that orange and that saffron up top, which both of those are going to be very lighter wearing type of elements. You can still smell them. They still project, but they're not going to project like something like labdanum or rose or sandalwood wood in Oud Ispahan. So very different fragrances. They're incredibly well done. I love both of them, which is shocking. Typically, I like one or the other. I think I like Oud Ispahan a lot because it's definitely symbolic to, whenever I was trying to get a Dior fragrance at La Collection Privée. And it was, a fragrance that I wanted even before I started working for the house of Dior. And it's just an incredible scent. But at the same time, it can kind of come off as old school to some people. And I understand that. And if you're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more modern and you're trying to dip your toes in the world of oud, I would certainly say that purple oud is probably one to try. It's kind of like where Oud Wood from Tom Ford has that very oudy type of undertone to it. Oud itself and Oud Wood is not really the star of the show, it's more of the cardamom. In this fragrance, Purple Oud, we get the star of the show being the orange and the saffron together, and those are the stars of the show. We also get that pink pepper as a dash in there. It's another background note, but the oud in this fragrance is definitely the base and it's also a background note. So, very different scents. Which one are you interested in? I have to say that as of lately, with having so many fragrances, and I do love deeper, sexier scents, this one itself is just a very nice breath of fresh air in my collection because I can definitely wear it on the go. I can definitely pick up and say, oh, I don't know what to wear. This will work because it works with any outfit, it works for any type of occasion. It is expensive, so just keep that in mind. Both of these are extremely expensive. And Oud Ispahan, although I love, it doesn't work well when it comes to the spring and summer months. It's a little too warm. It's kind of like putting on a fur coat in the middle of summer. I don't know why you would do that, but that's kind of how this fragrance kind of wears during the summer months. And this one itself, I can definitely see it wearing better in the spring and summer, and maybe not so much in the fall and winter. But that's up to you. You wear whatever you want to wear whenever you want to wear it. But I definitely think that both of these scents are incredibly lovely. If you're trying to pick something that's very exotic and very whimsical and very, dressed up, and something that, really has that refinement, that je ne sais quoi that you're looking for out of a fragrance, and definitely go for Oud Ispahan. If you're looking for something that's going to be a daily driver, you want to wear it all day, you love oud, and you want something different, something completely different to everything else in the market, then I would certainly say to check out Purple Oud by Dior. Also, let me know down in the comments if there's any dupes of Purple Oud. I haven't found one myself that has the exact notes to this, but if anyone knows of one, put it down in the comments for sure, if you know what I mean. Also, make sure to comment which one of these you like better, if you like one over the other. I know a lot of people are going to say they love Oud Ispahan, but if you love Purple Oud, tell me why you like it more than Oud Ispahan. Let me know all that down below in the comments. And make sure to give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more fragrance related content. I love you guys. I hope to see you on the next video. Until then, take care.